Hey there, and welcome back to Temporary Locals.
I'm Jared.
And I'm Megan. And this week we are taking you to the upstate of South Carolina to Lake Jocassee. But before we get into that, if you're new here, Jared and I are an adventure loving couple sharing our real stories and experiences from the places that we've actually been. So, whether you're planning your next adventure or you're just here for the storytelling, we are excited that you're here to join us. And we hope that you stick around and subscribe. We put out new episodes every week. So, do you have a current event?
No. Most
No.
events that are current are not great, and we don't want to talk about them.
And they're not travel related.
Mm,
Well, we did just watch there's 2 cruise,
documentaries.
documentaries on Netflix that we watched.
Yeah, one is about the cruise. Do you remember the name of the cruise line?
Costa
Concordia.
Concordia.
And that was a little more somber. People actually died. The cruise, they hit a rock and the ship sank and it tipped over and people actually died on that one. The second documentary we watched was the poop cruise.
Yeah,
And that one was a little more lighthearted. It was still kind of messed up, but I don't think anybody died from that one, right?
I don't think so.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was just a really gross one. So,
Yeah.
yeah. I mean, anybody that knows me knows us, but knows me specifically. I'm not a fan of cruises. I've talked about it before. I won't go into it now, but um, not for those reasons though, because stuff
Yeah.
like that can happen anywhere, right? I mean, planes go down, like any aspect of travel can go wrong. So that's not the reason I don't like cruises, but it's just an added layer of like, if you're on a cruise ship and something happens, and we all remember this during COVID, people were stuck on cruise ships out in the middle of the ocean, just circling and getting sick. And yeah, they're just big petri dishes. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and I kinda don't like the, not being able to control your itinerary. I mean, you can control what you do on the boat, right? But, you stop at certain places and I don't know, I kinda don't like the, "Oh, man, we have to be rushed to get back to the boat by 5 o'clock," and
Right. Well, and even a lot of the ports that you go into, it's like, I think a lot of those ports, the cruise lines actually own. So it's just an Americanized version of wherever you're going. So to me, I mean, we're an adventure travel podcast. We take people all over the world. We travel extensively. Um, that's not real travel to me. And I mean, if you just like cruises, that's fine. But don't think for a second that like because you went and docked in Cozumel in Mexico at the port there with your cruise ship that you visited Mexico because you didn't. Um, you know,
yeah.
You get off the ship and it's like there's a fucking Benihana's and it's Americanized. It's not real Mexico. You're not really experiencing any culture. You didn't really go to Mexico, is my point. And so
Yeah.
for a real travel experience, cruises just are not it for me.
Yeah, I told you it was like watching those documentaries was like birth control for us, but like cruise control. Not that we needed it, but
Cruise control.
yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah. It's like because in the one they went to Spain, right?
They were off the shore of Italy.
Italy. I thought they, yeah. Okay. And yeah. And I just remember, or the one left from Galveston, Texas, and it went to
They were going to
Cozumel.
yeah.
And I just remember thinking like, I'd rather just fly there. Like, I'd rather just fly there
Yeah.
or fly to Mexico. Um, I'm not 100% sure that Cozumel has an airport. I'm sure they do, but yeah, it's like I don't know. I don't get the whole cruise thing. I would rather just fly there and like experience the place.
Yeah. Well, that's our not current event. We watched some documentaries on cruises.
Well, I think we may have mentioned this in a previous episode, but we have some trips coming up. Obviously, we have Mexico in a few months. We're going to Mexico. Uh, we were just talking about Mexico, so and then next year we're planning a trip back to Egypt. So
Back for you, first time for
first
me.
time for you. So that'll be that's a big one. And so more information on that later. We have some trip planning to do.
In the frame, if you're on video, you can see on the wall. We've never really talked about our travel wall that's behind us.
We did a live early on. Did we not? We did a live.
That was on TikTok though.
That was your stuff though, right?
Yeah.
That was Mego Goes Global. And we kind of talked about some of our photos and stuff.
Yeah.
But yeah, we never did it for temporary locals.
No. But you have your what is it? The papyrus? Is it
Yeah, papyrus scroll. Yeah.
you can halfway see it's like kind of cut off at the top and then the picture is that Abu Simbel?
Which one? Yeah, that's
Yeah.
Abu Simbel. Then up at the top, another picture of Abu Simbel. Um,
They can't see that one in frame.
yeah, and me at Giza, and then the Sphinx.
This is why we travel, so we can put cool pictures on the wall.
Yeah, that's the only reason, is just to get a bunch of cool pictures
No, so we
and
can
then
wake
print them
up in
out.
the morning, go look, and think of all the cool places that we've been.
Yeah. Sometimes I just sit here with my coffee and I look up and I'm like, "Oh shit, I was in Egypt," you know? It's
Yeah.
the kind of stuff you dream of as a kid, watching movies like The Mummy and, Raiders of the Lost Ark and stuff, and you see it as a kid, and being from a small town in Pennsylvania, I thought, "Well, that's the movies, like, I went there.
Yeah.
I did that shit."
I never really thought that much about traveling beyond the US pretty much until I met you. I
Mhm.
mean, other than living in Canada for a little while, but I don't think that counts. I don't know, you kinda showed me that's, like, possible, like, you can just go.
Yeah. Well, I didn't think it was possible because, again, like, where I come from and kinda my background, but I had like when I was younger, I spent some time out west and I visited Mexico a few times. But aside from that, I never really thought about like world travel. And it was that first trip that, I took to Ireland and realized like, oh, like I can do this. Like I can go wherever. And then that's kind of when like Egypt has always been like a dream and always the top of the list for me. So when I realized like, oh, I can like this is possible, something that you never really thought you'd be able to do or you'd ever have the chance or opportunity to do. It made me realize like, oh, I can go do these things. And so like, yeah, Egypt was, you know, top of my list and that's where I wanted to go. And it's one of the few places I'll actually end up going back to,
Yeah,
aside from Mexico. So
yeah, I'm excited.
yeah.
We also just like planning too. So, like, that's part of the excitement is, like, planning your itinerary,
Yeah.
taking the steps, getting ready. "Okay, now I'm ready to take time off work. Now we're ready to book our flights."
Yeah. Booking the flights is because you can plan a trip all day. You can book, whatever. I would suggest getting your flights in order before booking any sort of lodging anywhere. But you can book the lodging, you can book whatever, but it's like until you get your flights, like once you get your flights, it always feels like even if you know you're going, once you have those flights nailed down, it's like, okay, now we're like it's official.
Now it's real.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And going back to like what you said about the itinerary and trip planning, and this is something I've talked about before, but it's another sort of like Anthony Bourdain kind of view of travel is like don't plan and just like let things happen and just like be spontaneous and in the moment. And although we do that and we agree with that, it's like to me, just trip planning's fun. I enjoy trip planning. I enjoy researching a place. I enjoy looking up like things to do. And even if you don't do anything, even if you don't do anything on the itinerary, even if you show up and throw it away, it's like it's just fun learning about a place and like yeah, just trip planning. It's fun to me. It gets me more excited for the trip.
Yeah, I'm glad that you brought that up because I think I would less call it trip planning and it's more research, just
Right.
like you said,
Yeah.
because then you're already have a little bit of background knowledge when you get there. Then you're like, oh, okay, yeah, I remember reading about this place and there's this and this over there that we can go check out or things
Right.
like that. So yeah, it's more about just building up a base knowledge of the place that you're going and things that you might want to check out. Not that you have to, but
Yeah. Well, and we've talked about this before. It's a good point that for certain places you kind of have to plan.
mhm.
Like for example, in Peru, it's like you can go to Peru and not have a plan or not, have anything nailed down. But to go to like Machu Picchu, for example, you have to pre-book. You have to sometimes well in advance.
Yeah,
You can't
sometimes,
just,
like, months in advance.
yeah, you can't just show up and think you're going to get a ticket. So certain things you kind of have to trip plan. And a place like Egypt, for example, it's like, yeah, you can kind of just show up and go through the motions, but if you're somebody like me who's actually interested in not just Egypt as a place to travel to, but like the actual history and ancient Egypt and everything. It's like trip planning in that way is fun because you learn about some of the history and stuff that you're going to learn about when you go there. So anyway, to get into the episode, I'll let you take it away.
Okay. So this was a family trip that we took with, my parents and my sister and her husband and their 3 kids, and then Jared and I and our 2 kids. So it was 11 of us in total and 6 adults, 5 kids. It was a full house, and
Yeah.
we rented this Airbnb in Walhalla, which is not far from Lake Jocassee and kind of on one of like the suburbs, I guess, of Clemson. Um, and yeah, it was just, I mean, it had enough room for everybody, and it was such a fun time.
Yeah, the house was, I don't wanna call it a mansion, that makes it sound fancy. It wasn't, like, fancy, it was a very nice house, but it was big. It was a big house. I mean, obviously, there was 11 of us, but there was just so many rooms. It was like the Winchester room, where there's just, like, random rooms and crawl spaces and cubbies and certain doors that were locked, which I guess is normal with it, like, an Airbnb, right? They don't want you to go in certain places or whatever, but it was kind of, it was like, I wouldn't say creepy because I didn't get, like, any sort of, like, haunted vibes from it, but it was, like, mysterious in a way.
Mhm,
And so one of the first things that we said when we got there as we walked through the door, I was like, because we play, hide and seek all the time with the girls.
mhm,
And whether we're at your parents' house, whether we're here, we play hide and seek. And so when we got to this giant house with all these different rooms and, like, corridors and all these places to hide, one of the first things I said was, "We have to play hide and seek with everybody," because I knew that would be so much fun.
yeah,
Because we're big kids. You and
mhm,
I are big kids.
yeah,
We love playing Nerf war, like,
yeah,
we have fun. So I knew it would be fun to play hide and seek with everybody.
yeah, and it was.
And it was.
We got my dad in on it. There was just so many you'd open a closet and you couldn't see the back of it. It would, like, wrap around because it was 3 stories, so, like, up in the 3rd story was, like, where all the what are they? The points in the houses, I forget what they're called. There's a
Like
word
the
for it.
peak and the, yeah,
Yeah.
it's the attic.
Yeah, and so just all the little closets and stuff up there. There was that one closet that was, like, inside a room, and then there was, like, a little closet that kinda looked like a wardrobe type thing, but then it had a hinged door that led to the hallway.
Right. And there was
Um,
a laundry chute.
yeah, there was a laundry chute, and I didn't actually figure it out until the last day, but it came in handy when we had to strip the beds for Airbnb.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was so fun. We all rolled in on, like, a Thursday night. I wanted to get there early so that I could go get some groceries and stuff just to have there, and, ended up kinda getting in a little too late, so wasn't able to do that, so that's when we were like, "Well, we want some snacks or at least, like, some cereal and milk for the kids in the morning, when everybody wakes up," so we went to this the only thing that we could find was a gas station. We tried, like, 3 different gas stations.
Yeah, nothing was open because you have to remember it's the upstate, but like, Walhalla is out in the middle of nowhere. This house that we're staying at is out in the middle of nowhere. It sits on a large property, by the way, the beautiful fields and everything all around it. Um, but there was nothing open at this time because it was what time? It was pretty late.
It was, like, after 10.
Yeah, which isn't that late. I mean, around here, we could go anywhere and get anything, but yeah, in this it's a smaller area, small town, and so nothing was open. So we had to settle for the only gas station we could find that was open, which was
Yeah.
this little podunk, middle of nowhere gas station like you see in the movies where they're like, you pull up and the person's like, "You don't wanna go down that road there." You know?
Yeah.
It was like a horror movie.
Yeah, kind of, and we were the only people in there, man,
Yeah.
and, yeah,
But we had to get snacks for
11
essentially
people.
everybody,
Yeah.
and everybody was, like, throwing in, like, "I want this, I want that," and your dad was like, "I want some ice cream," and we were like, "Ooh, we want this."
Yeah,
So,
$9 for a pint of Ben& and Jerry's. I
yeah.
almost said Ben& and Jerry's.
But it was our only option because there was nothing
Yeah.
else open, so we ended up spending $165 at the gas station. The poor little old lady working at the gas station behind the counter was, like, just ringing stuff up and just looking at us like, "Y'all are out of your minds."
Yeah, even she was like, "These prices are crazy, like, I can't believe you're not gonna go to a grocery store nearby," and we were like, "There's nothing open.
Yeah,
We
I think
can't."
we took one of everything from that gas station,
I think so.
and we got, like, a full grocery order from a gas station almost.
Basically, yeah.
It was just crazy the amount of stuff we got.
Yep, Cinnamon Toast Crunch, mandarin oranges, which we just brought back.
Yeah. Yeah,
I
we had a
finished
bunch
the
of stuff
last.
left over.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, but, you know, it was good. But we had, fun exploring the house. There was a study in there that was like I took a picture of you in it, and we can put that on our, Instagram, where there's just, like, this gigantic leather couch, and it's, like, it's almost like a sunroom, so, like, there's bookshelves on the wall, and it's like there was, like, a china set out, like, it was very, you know, upper
Yeah,
echelon-ish in that one room, and it was just kind of a cool vibe. And also, there was awesome sunsets from that room too.
right. Yeah, aside from the maybe the china set and some of the little trinkets in there, it had a very, like, man cave feel to it.
Mhm.
Not a man cave, but a study, which is what men used to have before man caves. It looks like the kind of place you'd go in and, like, smoke a pipe while reading a book or fucking, like, whatever.
Yeah.
And so it was a cool place, and that's the first place your dad hid.
Yeah, behind the
He
couch.
hid behind the couch, which I didn't expect because your dad's a grown man and he's, a bigger guy, and he somehow was able to get behind there. Your dad's he was good. He's a good
He
hider.
thinks about it.
Yeah.
Like, yeah. And he got upset when, Scarlett ratted him out because that was one of our
I
rules.
wasn't gonna bring that up, but yeah, she did.
That was one of the rules was if you get found, you need to go downstairs. You can't help find people.
Well,
Um,
yeah, after she did that, she's like, I found him, he's in here." Your dad made all the kids sit on the couch if they got found.
yeah, which I kinda get because it's like,
Yeah.
he wouldn't have found me if you didn't see where I hid.
Right.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
But, when we play hide and seek here at our place or at your mom and dad's, because we've done it so much, like, we kinda know the areas that people would hide or that we
yeah.
have hidden, and
I don't know, I still get you guys sometimes.
sometimes, but it's very hard to find, like, a new place.
Yeah.
But at this place, what made it so fun is, like, there were so many places to hide, and we were still, like, we weren't even used to the layout of the house yet. And so
Mhm.
there was a couple of times I just kinda hid, like, behind a door, and Hadley or one of the kids would just walk in and walk right by me and wouldn't even see me because they didn't think to look there, and
Yeah.
so it was fun.
I was the last person to get found in the last game because Jackson was seeking, and I was in that downstairs bathroom sitting on the side of the tub in between the shower curtain and the
Yep,
shower liner, and he
yep,
checked that 3 separate times,
yep.
and on the last one, he was like, "No one's in here," and I swooped both of the shower curtain and liner away, and I was like, "Are you sure?"
That's a
And he
good
was
spot.
yeah.
I do that here because I used to just hide in the shower, but that's obvious, and the person just
Mhm.
looks and sees you. But, yeah, if you can get on the edge of the tub in between the 2 shower curtains,
Mhm.
yeah, that's a
Oh,
good
yeah.
spot.
Yeah, that's one of my go-tos.
We're pros.
Yeah, we love hide and seek. But, so you mentioned this is, like, out in the middle of nowhere. It was on, like, 27 acres, and that was part of the Airbnb ad for it. It was, like, in the name, even though you can't access all 27 acres, but,
Yeah, there was
um
a fence
yeah, but
around
I mean,
it.
it's plenty of room. It's not like we were,
Yeah, there was a
missing out on acreage, but I say that to say that it was out in the middle of nowhere and there was lots of bugs around. There was a gigantic palmetto bug. Do you remember that? I made you get it.
yeah, I don't know what it was about this area out in the country in Walhalla, but it's like the bugs there were just monsters. They were massive. I felt like I was in Honey, I Shrunk the Kids or something. Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like they were just every bug was huge.
Yeah.
The palmetto bugs, and then there was a spider the one night in
Yes.
the kitchen, and it was a giant spider. Yeah, all the bugs were just massive. So we dealt. That was a theme of the weekend was just dealing with bugs.
Giant bugs.
Yeah.
Lots of beetles flying around on the porch. Like they'd
Hmm.
run into the house and it sounded like a bird hit the house.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, palmetto bugs are already big, but these are some of the biggest palmetto bugs I've ever seen.
Yeah.
I mean, they're like the size of your hand.
Yeah, they were huge.
It reminds me of when we first got to Costa Rica, and the first thing we did when we stepped out of the vehicle was we saw that giant frog
Yeah.
that was literally like,
The size of your hand.
yeah, I put my hand down by him because he was massive,
Yeah.
and it wasn't like a toad; it was a frog.
Yeah, well, and these were the kind of bugs that, like, you're not gonna smack against the wall. You're gonna, like, try to catch it and set it free because otherwise it's gonna be a crime scene.
Yeah,
You'll have to call, like, a cleaner.
yeah.
Yeah, remember that we were trying to grill and there was charcoal already there,
Hmm.
and you open the bag and it had a
Wasp
wasp
nest in
nest?
it. Yeah. Well, that brings us to another thing. Is I think it was the second day we decided we were gonna grill out.
Yeah, because we noticed, or you noticed, there was a
So,
grill.
yeah, when we first got there, I noticed there was a grill down back. I didn't see what kinda grill, but I was like, "Oh, there's a grill here. Cool, I'm gonna go get burgers and hot dogs." So I went into town. I went into the closest Walmart, which was, like, kinda far, and I got, burgers and hot dogs and some things to grill out. I got back to the farmhouse, and I go down to try to grill this food, and I realize that it's not a regular grill, it's a big green egg, which I know most people are probably like, "Oh, that's dope," and it is dope, but I had never used a big green egg before, so I had to figure out how to use this thing. I've never used one.
Me either.
And so the way you bring it up to heat and the way you do the temperature on it is like different. You have to use the vents and you have to open them a certain way and let the airflow come in. And it's a lot more technical than just turning a knob. Like, oh, I need it
Yeah.
this hot, and you turn the knob to get it up to temperature.
Yeah, well, and it's charcoal, so that's one thing, but so for those who don't know, the Big Green Eggs are it's like a brand of a charcoal grill, but they're a specific charcoal grill. They're ceramic. So you can go to Walmart and buy a charcoal grill that, it's metal, it's whatever, but this I just assumed it was like a regular charcoal grill and you just put charcoal in it and whatever, so that's what we bought, that's what everyone else before us brought, evidenced by the bags that were still sitting there of the briquettes,
Hmm.
not the lump charcoal, the briquettes.
Yeah, you're supposed to use a specific type.
You're supposed to use lump
You're
charcoal.
supposed to use lump charcoal, but also Big Green Egg has their own brand of lump charcoal that you're supposed to quote unquote use.
Oh,
Yeah, they actually have their own charcoal.
that makes sense.
I mean, I don't think you have to use it, but
Yeah.
so yeah, I mean, I didn't know what I was doing, and so that first night, I had a hard time getting the heat up to like what you would cook a burger, 400 degrees or so.
Yeah.
Um, it stopped at 300. I could not get it any hotter. I tried everything. You came out and started helping me, trying to help me.
It was hours, man.
We were out there for hours trying to figure this fucking grill out, and finally, I mean, we got it, but the burgers took forever to cook.
Well, we got it, and then once it started cooking, and then we flipped the burgers, then the grease caught on fire, and then it went way up, and we
Yeah,
couldn't
then it got
control the
too
temperature.
hot.
Yeah, it was ridiculous.
Yeah.
It was an experience with this Big Green Egg. Um,
But we cooked out again with it
the following day.
the following day, and that by then we kind of had it figured out,
Yeah.
and we kind of had it down. And one of the big things that we didn't do the first night that I think really helped is we cleaned out all the bullshit from the bottom.
Yeah, all the ash, which is why you're not supposed to use the briquettes because they create more
Right.
ash than regular lump charcoal.
Yeah.
So you're also not supposed to use lighter fluid, which we found out after
Yeah. Well.
we used lighter fluid because it
Yeah.
can soak into the ceramic and, but we let it all burn off. It was fine.
I hope our Airbnb host doesn't listen to this podcast.
I mean, leave some instructions if you're going to have a fancy grill. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? Leave some instructions for it.
Yeah. I used to always think like, ooh, I want a big green egg. They're like fancy grills. They're cool. Like every guy that grills is like, oh, that's the pinnacle. I want a big green egg. But after using it, I was like, man, fuck this. Just give me a knob that I can turn and just make it hotter.
Yeah. I want a flat top grill that we can do hibachi.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do the train. What is it? The train?
Yeah, and the volcano,
The
the
volcano.
onion volcano.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Those guys are so talented.
Yeah.
Every time I go to hibachi, I'm just like, how much do they pay you? Because it can't be a lot. I'm sure those guys don't make a lot of money, but like, it looks like it takes years of training.
Yeah.
Who would train for years and years just to work at a restaurant? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, not like a regular chef, but like all the stuff they do. I'm assuming they learn that stuff and get trained on it.
Yeah.
You don't just show up one
Throwing
day
that
and
egg up in their little hat.
yeah, those guys. I'm just saying
I know. It's like a
they should make more money.
sub subset of acrobatics.
Yeah, hibachi cooks should make more money.
You heard it here.
Yeah,
So one of the main things that we wanted to do in Lake Jocassee was not actually spend a whole lot of time at the house, which we ended up doing, and it was awesome. But we went to Devil's Fork State Park and launched the boat and took turns kind of taking people around the lake. Lake Jocassee is about a 7,500 acre lake. And I don't know if we said this already, but it's like one of the clearest lakes in the southeast.
It is the clearest lake in the Southeast.
Yeah.
And you'll know that from the title of this episode because it's called Lake Jocassee, the Mirror of the South.
Yeah.
And I named it that because, yes, it is the clearest lake in the Southeast.
And I mean, it was gorgeous.
It's a beautiful lake.
We spent time on there was, like, a little beach there at the state park, so we spent time there kinda hanging out, and you had your snorkel mask.
Mhm.
It's like the full face snorkel mask, and yeah, you could see pretty deep just with that mask, so, that was pretty cool, but also getting to go around the lake in the boat and see the waterfalls flowing down into the lake was pretty cool too, and we got to get up and climb some of the waterfalls and sit in them, and of course, it's like, cold, refreshing water.
Mhm.
Yeah, it was beautiful.
Yeah, back at the beach, first of all, everybody wanted to take a turn with the snorkel mask.
Yeah.
So we were out there. You could swim out into the lake, and they had like the jetty set up, so you could only go so far. But I took the snorkel mask out. You and I did, and then all the kids wanted to try it, so we all had to take turns passing this mask around.
Yeah.
But it's a cool mask. We found that I found that mask at a thrift store, right? For like
Yeah.
$5.
Yep.
It's nice too. But
Yeah. We cleaned it. So, we got it used from someone else. Someone else's face has been in there, and then we traded it around with a bunch of kids' faces.
this was during COVID too.
No, it
I
wasn't.
don't know. Yeah, it
It's
definitely had a
majority
little
of
bit of
it.
the vid. You know what I'm saying? But going back to what you were saying about we didn't plan on spending a lot of time at the house, that's typically how we feel about anytime we go anywhere and we rent, whether it's Airbnb or a Verbo or whatever hotel. We don't really care where we stay typically because we're not the type that really sits inside or stays at wherever we're at. We like to go out and explore and adventure and do things. So typically, at least me, I don't really care where we stay ever. Like as long as I got a bed, and even then, it's like I'll sleep on the floor. I don't give a fuck. But this place just inadvertently, because we had so many people, we had to book a large place,
Yeah.
and so it ended up just being a really cool place, and
Mhm.
that's why we spent time there.
Yeah.
That what was it, the second or third day?
Yeah, it was the 2nd day. My dad went out early and, he couldn't get on Lake Jocassee, so he went to Lake Keowee, and he was kind of telling us that we should get out there and whatever, and we were kinda just like we were all a little kinda tired from the day
Sunburnt.
before, very sunburnt.
A lot of the kids were sunburnt.
Yeah, I was very sunburnt. My back was crazy.
Yeah, I
And
was
s
fine.
yeah,
I don't
yeah.
get sunburnt. I'm one
You
for
were you were
I'm
sunburnt
I'm
too.
1-4 Cherokee.
Yeah, yeah, you were sunburned too. Um, but yeah, so we bought a slip and slide and a hose.
We bought a bunch of stuff.
Yeah,
Because we were like, all right, we're going to stay at the house today. We all just kind of wanted to relax and chill, which again isn't really typical for us, but we had the kids. The kids were all tired. They were all sunburned. The house is awesome. We're like, let's take advantage of this place and let's do something here. And so we didn't really have anything to do other than like play hide and seek and stuff. Um, so yeah, there was a volleyball net already there that we set up. We got a volleyball.
yep,
Well, it was actually like a dodgeball because they didn't have
yeah,
volleyballs. We got badminton.
mhm,
We got a little pool that we filled up. We had to
yeah,
buy a hose. We had to get a hose
yep,
to do all this. And we got two slip and slides.
yep,
And my idea was, hey, let's put them together and make a badass long slip and slide,
which we did.
which we did. And I got all cut up from the grass.
Yep.
That was the first one. I was like, I'll go. I'll show y'all how it's done. Watch this, kids. And then I fucking just slid right off the end through the yard.
Blades of grass. You had, yeah, just cuts
Yeah.
all over your body.
Yeah. I looked like a POW. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I had some too, but not I didn't go down it nearly as much as you did, but the girls were having a blast over there on that slip and slide, and we had some, squirt guns too, so we had some, like, water games outside because it was pretty warm.
Oh, it was hot.
It was 80s, 90s.
Yeah, for
Um,
being the upstate, it was hot.
yeah, and, there was also we didn't mention, but the Airbnb had this awesome wraparound porch and with, like, a hanging bed, so, like, a lot of space to kinda just hang out outside, so mom and sister were hanging out up on the porch, and, yeah, the kids were all just playing outside. There was also a piano inside, and my nephew, who hadn't touched a piano before in his life, looks up like, YouTube videos, so now we're just hearing Coldplay playing throughout the house all weekend.
Yeah, that same song.
Yeah. What is that? What was that song?
I'm not singing it, but I don't know the name of it, but
Yeah, I'm not sure either. You would recognize it, though, it's a pretty
if I
common.
rule the world,
Yes.
yeah, I don't know.
Yeah,
I don't
that
know the name of it,
song.
but yeah, the porch was like the unofficial but official adult area,
Yeah.
it seemed. Because the kids would all be playing out in the yard or inside or whatever, but the porch was where, like, we all kinda hung out.
And you can supervise too from because you can
Right.
see the whole
Yeah.
yard area.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So it was kind of our spot, and they had one of those hanging beds out on the porch.
it was comfortable.
Yeah.
Man, yeah, it was nice.
There was a fire pit, chairs,
Yeah, we did s'mores.
we did some s'mores. It was a really good weekend. It was a really fun weekend.
Family filled.
Yeah.
We went on some adventuring of our own. We wanted to go to the, Stumphouse Tunnel, which was something that you found, and then there was the Issaquena waterfall nearby. So the Stumphouse Tunnel was first proposed in 1835 by residents of Charleston, South Carolina, so on the coast. What we're talking about is up in the upstate, and they wanted a shorter route for the Blue Ridge Railroad between Charleston and the Ohio River Valley area. At that point, it was only accessible by bypassing the mountains entirely to the south and then traveling up north through Georgia and Middle Tennessee. And so in 1856, they began this tunnel, and by 1859, they had already spent over $1 million on the tunnel, and the state of South Carolina said, "We're not paying anymore." So they just stopped it. And so at that point, it was only like 27% complete. And they had excavated a length of 1,617 feet of the planned 5,863 feet. And just a fun fact about this tunnel, looking up, like, even on the signs there, they mention this, that in the 1950s, this tunnel was used by Clemson University to grow blue cheese until the 1970s when the blue cheese operation was relocated to air-conditioned cheese ripening rooms where the tunnel environment was duplicated. So that tunnel is good environment to grow cheese.
Wow, who would have known? It was nice being able to go and do that without some of the smaller kids. So myself, you, and Harper, our 12-year-old, we went and were able to do that. I wanted to go check it out because it was something that was like haunted in the area
Mhm,
that we could go look at and explore. Um, because as you mentioned, you went through some of the history of it being built and then it was eventually decommissioned or stopped. They stopped building it, but people did die making it. It was all made by hand. And so, um, local legends estimate that up to 10 to 12 workers lost their lives while excavating the tunnel. And the tunnel was carved, like I said, by hand using hammers, chisels, and black powder. So the working conditions were extremely hazardous. Anybody that knows anything about mining or anything like that knows that, like,
mhm.
that's pretty typical. And so,
Well, and mining in the 1850s,
right.
they
So,
didn't have OSHA.
yeah, no, it's OSHA's because of a lot of this stuff.
Yeah,
So people died there. And so it was, reportedly haunted. And we like stuff like that.
yeah. And wasn't the workers, weren't they, like, mostly Irish immigrants?
Probably.
I think I read that somewhere.
Yeah.
There's like in South Carolina, they have the historic, iron
Placards.
sign
The placards.
placards.
Yeah.
Yeah, so
Yeah, a lot of tunnels in the US and a lot of the railroad was built actually by Chinese immigrants, and a lot of Chinese immigrants died making those, like traversing the country with railroad. So kind of a sordid history, but it's interesting, and I thought it would be something fun for us to do with Harper. And so we got there, and I wasn't even sure we'd be able to go into the tunnel because I know that at one point they had it fenced off. And when we pulled up, you could see the fence. There's a modern chain link fence there. So at first I thought, like we're not going to be able to go into it. But they had the door of the fence was open.
yeah, like
So
a man door.
yeah, so we were able to actually walk into the tunnel, and we'll post the photos and stuff of that. It was really cool. How long was it?
Um, I
1,617 feet.
Yeah, is that how long we were able to get to? Because when you go to the very back, there's
another.
Yeah, like, you could keep going.
It doesn't feel
So
like we walked that far,
no, I
but it
don't
was
think
it
so.
was pretty far though.
Yeah. Well, and what was cool is when we got there, we were the only people there.
Yeah, there was nobody there other than us, and so we got to go into the tunnel, and once you get anybody that's ever been in a tunnel knows what I'm talking about. You get so far away from the opening, the mouth of the tunnel. It's like a cave. It's just darkness. It's
Yeah.
complete darkness. We didn't have our headlamps at the time,
No, so we were trying to use our phone flashlight.
flashlights, right? And it's just you can hear the dripping water and it's wet and it's dark and it is kind of
It
creepy.
was kinda creepy. I kept feeling like we were gonna, shine our light and see a Mothman or something.
Yeah. Or like what's that movie the Descent
Yeah.
where they're in the caves. So yeah, we walked all the way to the end, and where it stops, and you can't go any further. And at that point, we started to hear people coming down.
Yeah, then there was a bunch of people coming, so we were like, "Oh, okay."
But we were able to have that tunnel to ourselves for a good bit and
Yeah.
really explore it. And yeah, that was really cool. I really enjoyed that. And then after that, we went to the waterfalls that were right there.
Yeah, and
Essequina.
yeah, Issaquena Waterfalls, and that was so cool. It was a little hike down, and it was pretty steep. I say hike, it was almost kind of a climb in some ways,
Yeah,
down, but once we got down there, I still had my bathing suit on from doing water stuff around the house, but, Harper had her full clothes on, but we both got
to the
in
waterfall.
the
Yeah,
waterfall, sitting in there. I was like, "Man," yeah, I was like, just
this is the life.
sitting underneath it, feeling the water hit my skin. It was cold and refreshing. It was just yeah, this is the life.
hmm And we've talked about some of our waterfall adventures before, whether it's like Central America, whatever. But the upstate of South Carolina and North Carolina, that whole region, the whole Blue Ridge area, has a lot of waterfalls. There's a
Yeah,
lot of waterfalls to go see. And even like you were talking about around Lake Jocassee itself, there's waterfalls all over. So
yeah,
I don't know if those waterfalls have any actual name or if they're just a part of the lake.
I'm sure they do. But yeah, there's dozens of waterfalls around, Lake Jocassee itself, and then same thing with Lake Erie,
hmm
because there was one,
We did go to one, yeah,
yeah. And that leads me to, the next day, we spent time on Lake Kiwi, and that was after my dad had already spent basically the whole day that we were hanging out at the Airbnb exploring, so he kind of already got the lay of the land on Lake Kiwi and figured out a couple places that we could go, and we ended up going to the South Cove County Park, and that park was so nice. They had plenty of space to, like, lots of tables and stuff. They had a nice, store, and it was pretty reasonably priced. We got some, like, ice cream and chips and snacks and whatever there, but they also had, like, a little
pond.
yeah, like a little pond, r
They
almost
had
a river thing that
little
kinda
baby
went
ducklings walking around.
yes, they were
You
so
could feed
cute.
them.
Little fuzzy baby ducks.
Yeah.
Oh gosh, they were so cute.
You just want to like take one, put it in your pocket.
I know, I did.
You're mine now.
Yeah.
Yeah. I call you Sir Quacks a lot.
Yeah, they were adorable, and we spent time just kinda hanging out, looking at them, feeding them. I think I didn't see this, but when we went back, I remember Harper was upset, and we were like, "What's going on?" And she was upset because there were white ducks, and these were mallard ducks, but there were white ducks that apparently may or may not have drowned some baby ducks.
Yeah. It's a part of nature, man.
Yeah.
You gotta learn that, unfortunately, That's
I was like, "Well, there's some live ones over here you can go look at."
yeah, yeah. But yeah, it's funny because we mentioned Lake Kiwi. Really, this episode's about Lake Jocassee and Lake Kiwi because we actually spent a lot of time at Lake Kiwi too.
Mm.
Lake Kiwi is the only lake that I actually went out on. Was that last day, and that's when we went to the waterfalls and we found a rope swing.
Yeah. Well, and because dad had spent so much time scoping it out, he was like, "Hey," he brought us over to it, and
Yeah, I didn't know what we were doing at first because we kind of went over to the edge of the lake to just like a random. There was nothing there; it was just woods. And he kind of like stops the boat, and we're all like, "What are we doing?" I
yeah.
didn't know what we were doing, and he's like, "You see that up in the tree? There's a rope swing up there." And I don't know if he really expected anybody to like actually go try it,
But
but
we did,
we were
man.
like, "Yeah, let's do it."
Hadley did it. Oh my
We
gosh.
all did it,
We
yeah,
all did it. You did it first,
yeah.
and then
Yeah, I was like, "I'm not gonna put my kids on this, I'll do it first just to make sure it's safe."
yeah,
And, I didn't know if it would even hold me, but it did.
yeah. So yeah, we had a system to kinda, like, grab the rope and, hang on to there was a tree branch or something, like, in it so that you could actually, like, hold on to it.
Mhm.
Um, and I remember when Hadley was going Hadley's our youngest, she's 8, and, she she swings out, and we're like, "Woohoo," and then, like, you can see, like, it kinda stop, and it was, like, about to start swinging back, and we all panicked at the same time. We were like, "Let go."
Yeah. I've seen too many videos on, like, Fail Army or
Yeah.
whatever of people holding onto rope swings too long,
Yep.
or, like, they're too panicked to, like, jump. They're too scared to jump and, like, let go, so they just hold on, and then they end up crashing back into the bank or the tree. So, yeah,
Yeah.
she swung out, and we're all just like, "Oh, yeah, cool, yeah," and then it's like, "Okay, let go, let go, let go."
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
But, yeah. And then we each did it a couple more times, and it was fun. I mean, it wasn't super deep, so, like, you would go and hit the bottom, but you, like, fell like, it sloped the bottom, so I didn't really ever hit hard.
Yeah, it's probably, like, 5 foot.
Yeah.
It came up to about here on me or whatever.
Your chest.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So for, yeah, the younger kids, it was, I don't think they hit the bottom too hard. I hit the bottom pretty hard, but, um, I was fine.
Yeah.
But it's funny because that weekend we did so much adventurous stuff, whether it was climbing up, climbing up waterfalls, rope swings, slip and slides, all the physical activity I did that weekend, some of it kind of treacherous, and I was fine. And then last weekend, this is my current event. I was in the shower and I bent down to grab the shampoo bottle and I threw my back out. And I was like, just last weekend, I was swinging off of rope swings and I was running through the yard, chasing the kids and climbing up waterfalls and jumping off of stuff into water. And I'm just in the shower. I bend over and hurt my back. I'm like, I don't understand
Yeah.
my body.
Yeah. That was the talk of the that was July 4th that you did
Yeah.
that.
Yeah. And then we went out on the boat that next day and it
Mhm.
was kind of rough, rough waters. And it did not feel good on my spine. I was like Mike Tyson. It's
Well,
spinal.
at least you weren't like Conor McGregor.
Yeah. At least I didn't have glass legs. Shout out Conor McGregor's glass legs.
The memes from that. Oh my
I
gosh.
knew, dude. As soon as it happened, I was like, "Oh, the memes are gonna be fire."
And they are. They are. But
So it was a pretty adventurous weekend.
yeah, we had a great time. I mean, it's kind of basically in our backyard here. And we want to go back and camp at that little county park
Yeah,
because I mean, it was pretty nice.
yeah. And if it had just been like you and I, or maybe you and I and the girls and your parents, we probably could camp, or we would have camped. But I think having like little kids, the house was a good option. And I'm glad. I love camping, and you get such an amazing experience when you camp at a place like that. But the house was so much fun for everybody,
Yeah,
and it was just, yeah, we had a great time.
yeah. Shout out to that Airbnb.
Yeah, yeah, we didn't even go over like the history of the house as far as like the people who own it. But when I was out in the yard, there's a giant oak tree in the middle of the yard that overlooks like the yard, and there's a little fire pit there below it. But in the oak tree was two names that were carved
Mhm.
in the oak tree, and so I assumed it was like this is somebody's family home. And one of the names was actually the name of the guy who is the host.
Mhm.
So I was like, okay. So I assumed it was his family home because you see a name carved in a tree, you assume it's a kid that did it. Um,
Yeah.
but I don't think that's the case. I think they actually bought the house not that long. Like
No.
they were adults, right?
Yep. They were adults. Yeah, we went down like a rabbit hole.
Yeah, I was trying to find like
A reason for it to be haunted.
a reason for it to be haunted and scary to scare the kids because I was like, please let somebody have died here or something. I know that sounds terrible, but I was like, please let there be like some crazy story. Like this is the fucking house from the Amityville or something.
Yeah.
Let there be some sort of crazy like history with this house and like people died or something. And I didn't find anything, but it was pretty interesting. Um, the guy who owns the house, his brother was an IDF soldier. No,
No, that's what's not true. That's where AI led us wrong. We, under that whole time, were under the impression that, um because the guy who owns the house is Jewish, and there are, like, Jewish things all around the house, like,
so
on the
he's
outside of the
not
doors.
just Jewish. He's actually Israeli.
Yes.
Like he's from Israel.
Yes.
He actually lives in Florida, but he's from Israel.
Yes.
So he just so the name that's on the tree just happens to also be the name of a guy that was also Israeli. And
Well, so okay. In trying to prepare for this episode and what you had looked up, I tried to replicate and I couldn't find anything. And I was like, "Where did you find that his brother was an IDF soldier and passed away?" And I was like, I can't find anything." So I started looking up like property records, and the name that you thought you saw carved in the tree was Shavi, Shavi. But looking up the property records, he used to be married to a woman named Shari, Shari. So I think that's what was carved into the tree, was the husband and wife name carved into the tree. And
did I
they
take a picture of it? I took a picture of it.
yeah,
We need to look at the picture because
yeah.
I'm pretty sure it said Shavi.
I
And
think it's
Shavi
I
also
think it's an
happens to
R.
be an Israeli person who
I'm
died,
sure.
who
I'm
was an
sure it's a
IDF
common
soldier.
name.
Maybe.
I'm sure it's a common name, but I looked at the property record and they were married, they were both
We
on
were
the
like
property in
investigative.
2020.
We were
I
like
know.
investigative journalists.
I know. And then I found they got a divorce, so then the house was just put in his name. We learned so much about
Well,
these people that we were just renting a house from.
he made out lucky in that situation, huh?
I guess. I mean, we don't know their situation, but,
Yeah, I hope he doesn't listen to this. What was his name? Yolandi? No,
Yossi.
Yasi. Yolandi's the name of the girl from fucking Diane Ward. Yasi?
Yeah.
Shout out Yasi.
Yeah, your house was amazing. I left an Airbnb review and, I specifically mentioned, like, highly recommend, playing hide and seek in this house.
Yeah.
'Cause
We don't get political on this podcast, so I don't want to hear anything about anything,
yeah,
you know.
yeah. We don't care, it just happened to be,
Yeah,
you
we
know,
didn't choose it because he was Israeli or anything.
and we did not choose it
If it
because
had been a Palestinian person's house, we would have stayed there too.
yeah, we
Yeah.
had no idea.
We don't discriminate.
Yeah, and he actually was helpful. I talked to him on the phone. I think it was him. When I was first got there, because like I had a trouble getting into the house. The code wasn't working, so he like reset it.
I feel like that happens all the time.
Yeah.
I'm not a fan of Airbnbs. I know we use them when we have to, but I'm not a fan. Here's my travel prejudice: cruises, cruise ships, cruise lines.
Hmm.
Okay, which we've already talked about. Um, and Airbnb. Those are my bugaboos.
Bugaboos.
Those are my little bugaboos. I'm not a fan of cruises for obvious reasons we've already gone over. Anybody that knows me knows I've had a war against cruises for the past 10 years. But Airbnb is another one. I'm not the only one that feels that way. Hotels are
Yeah.
coming back.
Yeah.
Hotels are coming back strong because people are tired of Airbnbs because the hosts want you to do all kinds of bullshit.
Yeah. That's what I
Staying
was
at a
gonna bring
hotel,
up.
it's like you're the guest. They accommodate you. They try to like do things for you. It's, free food, free breakfast at least. They do your sheets for you. They clean your room. You
Yeah.
stay at an Airbnb. They want you to clean the house. They want you to fucking mow the lawn. They want you to do all this bullshit.
I will say, trying to strip the sheets in that house of like 11 beds was insane. I did use the I almost said garbage chute, the laundry chute.
Yeah, it's just they have this whole like laundry list of chores they want you to do, and it's like I'm paying to stay here. Like I paid
Mhm.
you money for a service, and now it's like it's the same. It's like self checkout. Like you go to the grocery store, it's like I'm paying, I'm a customer, and I also have to do this. Like I also apparently work here. Like apparently I'm also the maid for this fucking house, and I just aside from that though, Airbnb is bad for like the housing market and a lot of these communities and stuff. People buy up homes and then they rent them out, and then people can't find homes,
Yeah.
and it drives up the housing costs in like these areas and stuff. And you see that especially in other countries, like where people have all these Airbnbs and stuff. And a lot of times these people don't even live in the country. They're, and it's like, I don't know, it's just certain cities and stuff have like actually started banning these types of like services and stuff. They started banning like Airbnb and Verbo and stuff because it's so bad for like their economy and everything. And I don't know. I just that and like just the audacity of all the things that they expect of you when you're paying good money to stay there. I'm just not a fan of Airbnb.
Yeah.
I'd rather stay in a hotel any day. I can do whatever I want in a hotel. You know what I mean?
Yeah. It just worked out that way because we had so many people, and it's like it would have been.
Well, I know that. And again, in this situation, it worked out fine. I mean,
Yeah.
we still had to clean and stuff, but whatever. We had enough people. It was fine. Um, and I really enjoyed the place. I'm just saying, in general, I'm not a fan of Airbnb. I'm not a fan of what it stands for,
Right.
and that's just my travel prejudice.
Thanks for sharing.
That's right. That's my TED talk.
All right, you guys. Well,
I'm Jared. What am I supposed to say?
that's it for this week. Thank you guys for listening. Let us know if you enjoyed this episode. If you have been to or want to take a trip to Lake Jocassee now or the upstate of South Carolina. Once again, we are available on all the podcasting platforms now. I'm not going to list them all out, but we're out there. And we're also on video on YouTube and on Spotify. And you can find us on Instagram, Temporary Locals Podcast. We post kind of episode previews and, announcements and things like that every now and then. You can find Jared on Instagram at Rover_Stover and at Rover Stover on YouTube. And you can find me, Megan, on Instagram, TikTok, YouTube, and Facebook at Mego Goes Global. And with that,
I'm Jared.
and I'm Megan. Thanks for exploring with us.
And remember to be a local anywhere you go.
Bye.
Bye.